Hey Steve,
Hey, how's it going?
where are we today?
We're at Biotherm Solutions in Cotati, California. These guys are big time in the hydronic heating space, but they also are dabbling very heavily in cooling, dehumidification, and dissolved oxygen. All things commercial greenhouse and even indoor solutions. Hey Haley, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing really well, good to
Nice
see you.
to see you.
Life's treating you well?
Yeah,
That's
things are
great.
great.
So what's new around here?
Actually, Jim's out in the roll and grow room if you want to go check it
Oh,
out.
awesome,
Yeah,
please.
let's go.
What up, Sam? Hey, what's up? Hey, Danny. Hey, Jim.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Hey.
How you been?
Been a while, man.
Yeah, it has. So here we're looking at the roll and grow.
Sorry, I'm a bit ignorant. What is the roll and grow?
Well, the Roll and Grow is a product that we developed to address the needs of the growing public, whether it's cannabis or ornamental crops, to do a system that would expedite the installation and allow bottom heat systems to be kind of democratized so that you don't need to have special skills or labor. And in the old days, we used to sell these systems with individual tubes that people would have to roll out and snap into like a little track to guide them. And now we've invested in this machine, which is one of a kind in the world, that takes various kinds of tubing that we run warm or cold water through, and it takes that tubing and it adapts it or bonds it to various kinds of substrates, textiles. Like in the machine right now, we have a white weed mat material. In other applications, we use a black weed mat material. We also have a netting mesh material that's used for benchtop applications. And we have got it running now for maybe 14 months, and it's been very, very successful. We can do up to 12 foot wide, so large beds can be done. We also have a slitting device on it, so we can make them in whatever dimensions are necessary for the individual application. We have a client in Connecticut that we did a system for 2 years ago before we had this product, and it took, I think, 5 weeks to install 100,000 square feet. And we did 100,000 square feet for them last fall, and it took them 1 week to install the entire system.
Wow.
So it's really speeds up the installations, makes it much more organized, it looks good, very durable, and saves a tremendous amount of energy. They're saving 30-40% on their climate control, and they're able to get an extra crop a year out of it because of the accelerated growth.
What kind of temperature? You said hot and cold water? Mm-hmm. What's the average temperature you usually deploy?
So most times the water temperature going through the tubes is about 130, 140 degrees, so it's pretty low water temperatures. And then the plants sit directly on that, and intuitively think, oh, that's too hot, it might hurt the plants. But the system is controlled by a probe in the media, so that we set the soil temperature at normally 72, 73 degrees. And then the system is able to heat transfer, because you have to have a delta. You have to have a difference between the water in the system and the media you're trying to control in order to get heat transfer. So then in some cooling applications, we'll run like 40-degree water from a chiller, and then keep the media temperature down. And that's also the reason for the white weed mat, because it reflects sunlight. Yeah,
makes
for
sense.
like people like growers, a lot of cannabis growers, especially. We're dealing with California summers or Arizona summers, and it reflects a lot of the heat back out of the greenhouse.
What other materials can you use?
So we can do several kinds of rubbery or plasticky type materials. We can go up to 1/2 inch and down for the bench type applications where we have the tubes on much closer centers, as close as 2 inches. We'll use something that's about the size of a pencil.
I see.
And then the limitation there is we can only go so far, so the benches can only be about 50 feet long or so. Right now it's loaded up with like a just under 1/2 inch size material, and this can accommodate a bed up to like 100 feet long.
Oh, and that's really strong. That's tough.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's somewhere in between a rigid and a soft. It's a thermoplastic rubber material, so
Still pliable, but not
very-
going to break down.
correct, right, and it'll last in the environment for 20, 30 years.
Oh, beautiful.
So yeah.
Yeah, so what's the average flow rate through this tubing, generally speaking? Obviously, it's engineered.
Yeah, it's all engineered, but just like, for example, like a typical system for a cannabis grower, a bed might be about 4 gallons a minute for that.
Okay.
And that would be putting 60 BTUs per square foot in that 12 foot by 50 foot area. And so you're talking maybe 10 watts of motive power to do that versus the traditional heating system, which is like the unit heater, like hanging up above in the shop, which is common
In greenhouses.
everywhere. And with those, you have this big fan that uses a tremendous amount more electricity to distribute the energy, and it's also doing it in a very inefficient way because it's not conductive. It's blowing it, convectively around, and you're hoping that hot air is going to find its way down to the plants, which makes no sense. So yeah, I mean, besides being a very effective way that you can use low water temperatures to, I'm sorry, he has a point. Besides using low water temperatures, which you can get from a solar system, or you can get from, or you can get from, what we use is very efficient low temperature boilers that are 99% efficient generally. So, all told, it's gonna save 50% of your energy over a traditional heating system. Of course, the investment's higher, but the return on investment through better production, less diseases, more crop turns, is going to be less than 5 years.
Wow.
In general, yeah.
And you're putting the heat where it needs to be.
Exactly. The plants are happier, healthier, they root better, they stay more compact, they don't stretch.
Right.
And there's a lot, these unit heaters are also known to spread pathogens. So you're blowing all this air around, and it also causes more heat loss because as you scrub warm air across the glazing, the heat loss goes up.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this actually creates kind of a microclimate, and it creates a boundary layer where it radiates up into the upper reaches of the plant, but the media temperature is the driver of the plant. I mean, that's really where the metabolism of the plant takes place, is in the roots. As we all know, the roots are the most important foundation of the plant.
Right.
And so mimicking nature really is the best way toward the best kind of production. And I think this kind of system really
That makes a lot of
addresses that.
sense.
Yeah.
Can we see it in action?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's run the machine.
Excellent.
Justin, you're on. He doesn't like Sadie. He's worried about Sadie.
Vicious.
Hey, thanks again for having us. Jim?
Appreciate you coming.
Of course.
Yeah, anytime.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Haley. Danny, thank you.
Coming by.
It was awesome.
Appreciate it.
It's fun to learn about the roll and grow. What a great product.
Thank you.
We'll be back soon. I want to look at all the other products and show all the viewers out there.
All right, that's great.
I'm Steve from Monster Gardens. Till next time.
Thank you.